All right, let's jump right into our fireside chat. Let's give it up again for Arete of Media ceremony. If somebody could please grab the citation for me. Yes, we are all camera and videoed up. Let's make these moments count. This pen as well. I love y'all. Thank you.
Here we go.
I know Yandy needs no introduction, but it's only proper that you do introduce your guest that's in your house. So I would like to share a little bit from Yandy's bio. Yandy Smith is an entertainment powerhouse in the industry. The activist, entrepreneur, and TV personality is respected by many. Smith is the star of VH1's Love and Hip Hop New York and part owner of entertainment lifestyle company Everything Girls Love. Smith is conquering the beauty industry with brands Yale Beauty and Yale Skin. She works tirelessly with the community through advocacy. Through it all, Smith's favorite job is being a loving mother and wife, as we can see. So welcome to Women in Media's conference.
Thank you so much. It's exciting. I met so many amazing women at my booth. Thank you for all that came over and chatted with me. You guys are awesome.
I want to get started. The advocacy part about your bio was really interesting. Share more about the advocacy work that you're doing. And also, I'm really encouraged and inspired by the entertainment company too, as well. You've given me a lot of ideas of how I want to pivot my PR career.
I love that.
So Everything Girls Love was here at the conference last year. Tawana Coleman covered it on behalf of the outlet and then showed up to be a part of our team this year. And then Yandy's here now. You see how those connections happen?
Yes. So the advocacy work was really important to me when I found out my purpose, right? For a long time, I worked because I felt like I want to be rich, I want to make money. You go to school, then from school I interned. Well, I was talking about high school first, and I interned during high school, right after high school. Then I went to college, interned again, became an assistant, and I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to work. And besides working for money, there was no purpose behind what I was doing. And I worked long hours. I would be the first one at work. I would be the last one there because I felt like if I'm going to be the richest, I got to work the hardest. Then, you know how life happens, and life happened to me, right? And when life happens, I probably hit about 25 where I was like, what am I supposed to do? Is this what my life is? I'm just working? That's it? No real purpose, no reason why? And I got kind of in my feelings about, well, she's more successful, he's doing this, why am I doing this? I'm on tour with Missy, but I should have been on tour with Beyonce. And, you know, I just started to really question what I was doing. And then, you know, still with success and me comparing my life to so many different people, I never felt like I was doing enough. I created this space, Love and Hip Hop, with my partner Mona at the time. And I felt like the women behind the scenes needed a voice. I felt like there's so many women that are the pillars behind these men. There are women that are holding their arms out, being their accountant, their financiers, their stylists, and they just have the title of girlfriend, or just have the title of wife. So I wanted to highlight the women that are actually behind the scenes doing all this different stuff. Because so many people love my pain, your pleasure, because they love the drama, Love and Hip Hop kind of went somewhere else. So networks started to cast for the drama and for the crazy, and that's kind of when I was like, okay, this isn't necessarily where I wanted it to go, so I'm like, all right, I'll get in front of the camera. Got in front of the camera, and it's been super important for me to be a different voice, to still hold true to what, in my mind, I wanted it to be, where showing these strong women holding it down, really making this industry move. The women behind the scene, again, that had titles of everything but media moguls, had everything but the title of manager, had everything but the title of I hold it down and I'm the one that makes him be able to do what he does, right? So I felt like it was important for me to stand tall on that without throwing drinks, without fighting, without getting crazy, but being who I am. And again, life happened, even with that. And I realized, so fell in love, had my baby Amir, and when my son was 2.5 months, 10 federal agents came knocking at my door. And I'm like, I went to college, I graduated, I interned.
Howard University.
Howard.
Shout out to Howard.
In the house. But I'm like, this is not supposed to happen to me. This is not this is not me, it's not my life. But I realized that there are so many people that look like us whose family is struck by the criminal justice system. Now, this was for something that my husband did 6 years prior to us even knowing each other. But in that moment, they were able to rip him from our home. You know, it was a nonviolent crime. And it doesn't matter how long, you know, it's been done, or they don't take into account anything of that sort, especially when you look like you and I. And that's when I realized, okay, we are judged really harshly on the criminal justice side, and a lot of times we're judged unfairly. And I wanted to, as much as I wanted to hide that story from coming out on TV, that was a story that really started to give me purpose and add some substance to my life. And as much as I thought I would be judged, as much as I thought I'd be ridiculed, the amount of support that came out from mainly women that have said, my dad, you know, was locked up, my brother, my son, my child, my daughter, my sister. I realized that this is a bigger fight than just in my house. And I was able to really find purpose in connecting with other moms, women, wives on the subject of criminal justice reform. And then even sitting in those rooms, at those tables, I realized there were so many other issues that I just never cared about. I cared about working and making money. And before Amir, I didn't care necessarily about the wealth and the well-being of our children in the community. And as I sat in these rooms and I heard these mothers cry out about education and how, you know, the education in this particular neighborhood is not the same as the education in this neighborhood, I was concerned. I have a little boy now. When I started to hear about the pay rate in a corporate space, these women make this amount that are this color, these other women that are this color make this amount, but the men make that amount, I cared. I was a woman that was in entertainment and an entrepreneur, but if I ever needed to fall back on a corporate job, I want to make what I deserve. So that's when I said, okay, there's some more fights out there for me. The more I networked and the more I got closer to women that was in the space of advocacy, I realized that our fight is the same fight. That although I'm in New York and I do this and my tax bracket is that, or I'm this particular nationality, my fight is the same of that is, you know, a rich Muslim woman that lives in Philadelphia. We have the same fight and we have the same struggle. So therefore, in fight, we are united. We might be different in so many other ways. We might not, you know, have the same religion, or we might not eat the same foods, but there are so many things that connect us. And that's when I wanted to really start connecting with women so that I can help with the fight. I don't feel like, I've always said when I got in front of the camera, I was like, I don't really think I'm TV material, but I want to make sure that there is a space for the woman that's not going to throw a punch, that ain't throwing drinks, that ain't jumping across tables. I want to represent her, and hopefully they'll accept me because I don't really like to get my nails done. I barely wear makeup, and I don't do my hair. So I was like, let me just see.
Wow.
I know it looks like this today. These are press-ons. One flipped off when I was playing with a mirror. I had to glue it back on.
I'm with those.
I'm hoping it's not going to flip off again. This hair was from 3 days ago. I had to shoot, and I was like, let me preserve it. I put on my silk bonnet. So I tried to preserve it. I'm really a mess. But, you know, I still felt like I want to be that voice. So what I was trying to say was, when I was given this platform, I felt like there was something I need to use. I don't know why 5.9 million people follow me on Instagram and, you know, a few million on Twitter and Facebook. I don't really think I'm that interesting. I think I'm very much just like every single person out there that got 300 followers. But I felt like because I've been given this unique space and this unique network of people, I need to use it to say something right. So that's kind of where the advocacy came from. I talk a lot. So if ever you need to say, Yandy, you know,
I got you, girl.
condense your answers, just let me know and I will.
No problem. We definitely want to hear your story, which is why we're here on the Fireside Chat. So it is really about you. I'm just going to keep feeding questions.
Okay.
But a lot of different things went through my mind, so many things. One that is really sticking out to me is what you said about the connection with storytelling and fear. And so here at Women in Media, that's what we're all about. It's about building up storytellers. And there's something that the enemy will do to try to keep your mouth shut, to make you feel as if you speak on something, if you say something, that somebody's going to ridicule you, that somebody's going to keep you back. But you just proved that by sharing your story, you've got connected to so many people.
Yep, and I was so scared of the judgment. I'm like, this is the worst.
And that is such a trick. It's a trick on our mind.
It is the worst thing, but I'm telling you, it was the most therapeutic thing when it happened, when I was able to see it on TV, get all the support. And there were people that I would have never thought that I would be close with that are like my go-to when I'm going through something. I'm like, okay, what do I need to do about this? And I'm having a hard time dealing with this. But if I had not shared that portion of my life, if I would have hid it, we always feel like we have to be excellent. We always feel like we have to be perfect.
We don't want to show the scars.
We don't want to show the battle wounds. But there's so many more of us in here that have them. How many of you got some battle wounds? There's so many of us that got battle wounds more than we have, or more than we walk around with our crown all the time, untilted, right where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes our crown is going to shift. Sometimes it's almost going to fall. And that's when we need someone that's going to be like, girl, get it together. Not because I had to get our crown right. But it happens, and I think it's strength and it's powerful when you're able to say, I'm not right. Or this is heavy. This is a heavy load. This crown is heavy. And I think that when I was able to finally let go of the pride and say, this is too heavy for me. This is a burden I can't deal with on my own and raise children. How? Help me. That is when I felt powerful, weirdly enough. That is when
This is a great segue.
Okay.
Because my next question is about media powers that we talked about a little bit earlier. So our theme this year for the conference is media powers. Nothing moves without us. And really that's all of us. So I want you to share, what does that mean to you? You talked about you not really tapping into what you wanted to do with your career until you were about 25. Mm-hmm. And I think that's encouraging to a lot of us in the room. So what are your media powers, and how do you talked about how you impact the culture. So just share a little bit about, now that you're here, you've done behind the camera and in front, what is your media powers? So little joke real quick. When she got in the car earlier today, I was like, I read that this whole thing about media power. Did you make that up? Because I never heard the term media power. I've been in this business now for almost 15 years. What is media power? So she broke it down, and I love it. I'm glad that is your own thing. You might need to get that trademark. Shout out to Tawana and the team. Yeah, media power. What is your media power? Because I'm like, what is that? I've never heard of that. But I get it now that you explained it to me. So let me be clear as well. At 25, I was dead pop broke down, in a mess. I did not have my career on. At that time, I was working at Violator Management. I was on tour with Missy. We just dropped 50's album, and I had probably $5 in the bank account. I was driving a broke down Ford Explorer that was damn near missing one tire, because one tire was wrong with what do you call it, the dub? I don't even know what you call it, the donut, and the other tire was right. So at 25, I was struggle fest. I wore the same jeans all the time. I made $250 a week at Violator. I was on tour. I looked good. We didn't have Instagram back then, but I was all right. I looked good, but I was broke down, busted, okay, and disgusted. But I was a dreamer, I was a doer, and I also had goals, right? So I looked at the fact that I was traveling over the world, but making pennies as my stepping stone. I didn't go to grad school, but I felt like this is my stepping stone to get where I'm going to be. So every single circle I was in, I'm going to get to the answering your question. But every single circle I was in, this is one of my media powers, I made sure I was the nicest girl in the room. I smiled. I had manners. I said hello. I gave hugs. I asked for business cards. I took down information. Because what I learned early on was manners will open up doors that money cannot. So that is one of the powers that have helped me navigate through this business. Because you could say what you might want to say about me, but what you will always say is she was very nice. Yes. I'm very nice to everyone. Because you never know, yesterday's interns are tomorrow's top executives. And there are people that when I was an intern, even in the they treated me bad.
I will not forget. Even now in this position, it's so funny. The way the world works, people come back, you know. And there was an opportunity for me to work with a particular executive. He used to be a top executive, had the biggest artists, but he was a jerk to me when I was managing. Diplomats. He came on board with our project. He came in my office like, I'm gonna do this, and your artist is gonna do that, and started having meetings without me and doing all kind of things. You a woman, you would never understand and saying things like that. I was like, okay, all right. And I worked hard. And I positioned myself to be in a place where he'd have to ask me for something. And I reminded him, like, remember when you said this to me? That I'm a woman and I would never understand this? And remember when you told me, you made fun that I don't know nothing about, he was talking to my client about PJs, and I was like, PJs? I don't know PJs. Talking about private jets. And laughing that I didn't know what PJs were. And I was like, I will never forget that. I will never forget how you treated me. And he was coming to me because he had a proposition, which really was more like a business loan for me to invest in something he was doing. And I was like, yo, we family, either you remember me? I do remember you. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I remember you. And I told him, and I let that be a learning moment for him. Like, you have to watch how you treat people. Because even though then you thought I was nothing, you never know when somebody's trash can be somebody else's treasure. And I said, because now you're looking at me like I'm a hot steak, right? Before I was just some chitlins, now I'm a hot steak. And I'm like, we got to do better as people, right? So one thing that's a power for me is making sure that I network and I'm just nice to people. Because you never know that when you'll meet someone again. I'm never too busy to say hello. I'm never too busy to stop. I'm never too busy to take a picture because you never know who that person is. And even if they're not someone that can help you in your career, they might just be an angel that God sent down. So you just need to make sure that you are absolutely nourishing the relationships. Because in this space in media, a lot of times it's not about how smart you are. It's not about how cute you are, how nice your hair is. It's about who you network with and who can put you in that position because they got a job. So network, build a strong friendship and an alliance with people that are in your space. That's important.
I love that.
Yes.
Because, networking is about who you know and who knows you.
Yep.
And so I love that your media power was something so simple. Being kind to people.
Being nice.
And having manners.
Yep.
It was just very simplistic.
And
I
also,
appreciated that.
another thing really quickly, make sure that you are prepared when an opportunity presents itself. Be prepared. Have your 30 to 60 second pitch ready to go. You're in someone came up to me earlier and they asked me, like they're a young business owner and they were looking for investments and funding for their business. And, I said, well, what is your business? And she's like, well, I do this and I do a little bit of that and I'm trying to figure out this. It's not your elevator pitch. You need to be able to tell me in 60 to 30 seconds, this is what it is, this is how it's going to impact the market, this is how it's going to disrupt the market, this is how much money I need, and this is how much money it'll make in this amount of time. Period. If you can say those things and you meet the right person, you have the right opportunity, your life can be changed on the spot. And that's what I said, I told her that's how my life changed. I don't know if anybody here is from New York, but I come from New York, I'm from Harlem, I'm from Grand Projects, and a lot of the opportunities, we just never thought come knocking on our doors. Like I lived on 17 in the project. I'm like, nobody comes to 17. That ain't happening. But what I always did was I stepped out of my circle, and it didn't matter who you are, what type of suit you had on, whatever, I would go and talk to you. If I needed to ask for help, if I needed to ask for money, if I needed to ask for advice, I was able to say and articulate exactly what I wanted, who I was, what I wanted to do, what my goal was, and I did quick. I talked a lot, but I talked fast, tell I want, what I need. And then sometimes, most of the time, I gotta know, okay, nice to meet you, bye. But then there was those 1, 2, 3 times that it worked out for me.
Yes. So I want to dive into, we have some moms in the room. I want to talk about moms in media, moms in business, and just professional moms in general. So you're in your 10th season of recording Love and Hip Hop. Tell us something that you've learned this year, balancing your career. If there even is a balance, I'm not a mother yet,
Right.
but you have children and you're in this temp season. So, is there anything new that you learned this year?
People ask me the balancing question all the time. And I think that where the balance comes in is just you balancing your emotions with being okay with sometimes having to be away from your babies or sometimes having to bring your babies to work. Um, I don't think there's a real balance. Some days my babies get 90%, work gets 10%, and then there's those days where my babies get 5% and work gets 95% because I'm on the road or I'm traveling. Or sometimes it's 60-40. There's never a day where it's 50-50. I think being very deliberate, what I've learned lately is being very deliberate with my time. I write things down, and I write things down for the hour. Like, okay, 9 to 10, read with a mirror. Wake up, read with a mirror. 10 to 12, ABC 1, 2, 3 with Skylar. 12 to 6, I gotta do this work. Then 6 to 10, I'm back with the babies. And I write it down. And then I know, like, okay, this chunk of hours, let me get a babysitter over here that can watch the babies. I gotta do this work. I gotta get this done for the skincare. I gotta get this done for shooting. Or I gotta do this. But I'm very deliberate with my time, which means I don't got a whole lot of time on Instagram. I ain't got a whole lot of time to be on Facebook. So I intentionally don't follow a lot of people because I would be more concerned about what they got going on in their life than making sure I'm doing what I need to do in my life. So with all the people that follow me, I think I might follow 200 people or something like that because and the people that I follow are people that I don't feel like make me. Sometimes I look at people's page and I'm just like, oh, you're draining me. I don't follow people. I follow people that I feel like encourage me, people that I feel like are in a struggle with me. Everybody that's pictures is glossy. Every day they're in a different car, different meat. I'm like, you train me, okay? Because I'm not trying to keep up. I just want to do what I can do, and you don't even make me feel like I want to do it. You make me feel like I can't achieve that. Because what I don't know usually is borrowed, stolen, and it's somebody else's. And I can't be bothered all the time. So I intentionally do not follow certain people. I, again, am deliberate with how I spend my time because it is hard managing and running businesses, having babies, because I think it's important for us to give a lot of our time to our babies and have a village that can give a lot of the time to the babies. But in order for us to provide to our babies, we gotta work. And the balance is gonna come with being okay with working, managing your mommy guilt, right, ladies? Managing that mommy guilt because we gotta work those hours. And sometimes, most of the women in this room, sometimes just feel like daddy ain't doing all that he can do as much as us. So I think that it is important to balance that, your emotions. So I would say what I learned this year is being deliberate with my time and very intentional with my time.
You brought up Yale Skincare, and I want you to share, how was that company born, and then tell us what's next. And that's going to be my last question for Yandy, and I'm going to take a question or two from the audience.
Sure. So when I started Yale Skincare, it was for very selfish reasons at first. I was doing a show, and after like 2-3 years of doing the show, my skin started to break out, and because I would have to shoot the next day, I was popping pimples and trying to get it going. I'm like, I'll just cover it with makeup when it's a dark spot. When I took the makeup off, I'm like, why do I have all these dark spots? And then I had bags under my eyes. I wasn't sleeping the way I was supposed to, dark circles. And then my nose would peel. I had peels. I was like, something ain't right. So I went to Sephora and I was like, okay, I told them all the different issues I had. They just started throwing stuff in the cart. First, when I noticed in the store, someone that looks like me wasn't represented in the marketing. So that was the first problem I saw. Then when I got to the cash register, the next problem I saw was how much my basket came up to. It was like $590 something. I think it was like $589. And I said, there's no way that the average working woman can spend $589 every 30 days for skincare. I said, this is not right. So when I left, put a few things back for one, and then I hired a master esthetician and a consultant and a chemist, and I was like, I want to come up with a product that's all natural, that's plant-based, that they, from the youngest to the oldest, teens, tweens, and in between, can use this product. And I want it to be for men and women, and I wanted to make sure that it was marketed and catering to the melanin in my skin, your skin, and other women and men that look like me. So it took me the first line that I started. It was called Yell, but I'm like, I want to have the strawberry line, the papaya line, the cucumber line. Used all of it, broke me out. I got a rash, had all type of other dry stuff happening. It was bad. It was a mistake. I had to throw out my whole, and I ordered like 300 kits, 100 of each. I had to throw it away. Lost a bunch of money, but I tested it. My mom, my friends, we all pretty much had the same reaction. My friends were looking at me like, "You trying to set us up for failure?" I'm like, "No." So I had to throw that out, and then I started working at it again. And I was like, "Let's get rid of the scent. Let's keep everything all natural. Let's keep everything plant-based. I don't want to add anything extra. I'm not doing anything more than just with the basics." And as I hired like one of the top estheticians at Bliss Spa, she was a VP. So she knew everything that, for bags. She knew what works for bags, works for dark spots, it works for hyperpigmentation. And she worked with the chemist to make sure they put everything in there. And 2 years of testing that, because I was like, I can't go wrong again. I don't know nobody suing me. So we tested that product out for 2 years. And after 2 years, I released it last year. And it's been incredible. Our first year, thank you. We had planned, I was like, I want to do 20 to 30,000 my first year. First year we did a little over 60,000, and then I'm not done with this year yet. We've already cleared over $400,000.
Wow. So you said the second year? That's a huge jump.
Isn't that crazy?
That is amazing. That means the products, people are loving them.
Yeah, we've been
really
invited to
resonating with
Essence.
them.
We've been invited to Essence twice, Bronner Brothers, Curl Fest, and most of these things you have to pay for booths. Like you have to pay, $2,000, $2,500 for your booths. We were invited, and that's kind of unheard of for your first year. But I have some amazing mentors. Like I just started enlisting people. I said, what's the main choice?
Who are some of your mentors?
So main choice, her name is Courtney Arete. I don't know if you follow her. She is amazing. She owns the company Main Choice. It's the purple bottle you see all over CVS, Target, and then My Organics, her Curls, the owner of Curls. I just reached out to these women like, hey, see you doing your thing. I need help. And then I read their stories. A lot of them started in their basement, mixing stuff up in their kitchen, whipping up work. Exactly. They're like, it's time to go. They cut up our mic, which is fun. I'm gonna make it fast. So,
Really?
I made some really amazing connections with women just by asking for help, saying what I wanted to do, asking for help, and that is kind of what has helped to catapult this business.
That's awesome.
Yes.
What was really special today was that, you came on site with your own product and you worked your own table and you met with each person.
Thank you.
That's really unique.
Girl, ain't nobody gonna sell my product like me.
So
This
you
is what
came
I
early. We wasn't expecting you to be here so early and to be here with us all day. So thank you so much.
No
you invested
problem.
your day.
I'm telling
here
you,
with us.
people think I'm a TV personality, but I'm a worker, I'm a mom. TV happened to be something that just kind of fell on my lap, me being in front of the camera. But I work, I hustle. If I don't hustle, I don't eat. So I'm like, is women that's gonna be there?
You eat what
let
you
me
do.
get behind my booth and let me work my booth. Let me explain this product. Because that's the only way it's gonna sell.
Absolutely. Let's give it up for Yandy. Thank you for spending the day here with Women in
Thank you
Media.
so much.
You are officially a part of our family here. So you always have a place with us.
Thank you so much. I'm excited. I think this is gonna grow. I've been posting about it on my Instagram. This is really good. Young women absolutely need to be here.
Thank you so much.
Of course,
Thank you for the encouragement and for the support online.
Yes, of course.
I know there might be one or two questions from the audience. I definitely want to make sure that we hear. Okay, we got one here. Yes, come on up, Quadira. Quadira came from Miami, Florida.
Oh my goodness. Welcome. Absolutely. Every week there's something new on the table that we're working on, from neighborhoods that are being over policed right now. I have this crew. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tamika Mallory, my son, Linda Sorcerer. That's my family, but they do activism full time. That is their career. We're right now trying to form our own policing street team where we go out and we police our own communities. And we'll work with the officers when they say like this is a problematic area for us. Let us go in our own communities and work with our youth. Let us go in our own communities, work with our young sisters, our young brothers. If it's a problem we can't fix by pulling up to the table, then we can call you guys in. But let us do it because we're gonna have a different type of care, concern, and sensitivity when it comes to our own. So we are working on forming that coalition, and then we are always working on people that are harshly sentenced. Right now we're trying to get Rodney. Sean King's another one of our brothers that have been working really hard to stop the execution of Rodney. So we are working constantly, and it's definitely a fight that's going to take a lot of work. And I think the more of us that get involved, absolutely follow Tamika Mallory, absolutely follow my son. If you're not following me, follow me, and get involved. We do marches all the time. We have petitions that we need people to sign all the time. And a lot of us feel like, oh, that stuff doesn't work. You guys march, it doesn't. But I'm telling you, it does. When people come together and they march up to the city council's office, or they go to the senator, they go to the public advocate, they listen. The problem is not too many of us are doing it. How many of you guys have gone to the city council's office about stuff that you're concerned about? Not even half of in this room. But you can actually change your communities and change your schools, change even how your transportation systems work by speaking up. All you have to do is go and talk to them, report an issue, and they work for you. You pay them. So, it works. And you just gotta really get involved.
Thank you. I'm very proud.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, Yandy.
Hi.
I'm so grateful for you today coming here with your kids. I traveled all the way from Miami with my kids. It was scary and a struggle, an 11-year-old and a 15-month-old.
Wow.
And I'm so grateful to see how you're grinding and, them singing songs and everything on that day. My 15-month-old will be doing the same thing.
Right.
But with all that being said, there's so much that I want to do. So much that's in my heart and that I feel is in my visions to do. And so you seem like a woman of many visions, many talents. How are you deciding what to go for first, second, third, and whatever order?
So the first thing is build a team. Like, find whoever believes in you. If you have a friend that's an accountant or someone you don't know that's an accountant, but she is a believer in young woman entrepreneurship, become her best friend. Build a relationship with her. If there's someone high school student, college, that's great in tech, build a relationship. Hey, I got $50. I need you to teach me this. Or I need you to be on my team. When the team grows, you're going to pay you more. Build an amazing team first. And then think about your need. Is your need money right now? Is your need visibility? Is your need that you want people to know what your service is? What is the business, and then what is your need for the business? And start to develop your team around what the business is. And then I would say you can do all of these different things, but just space your time out. So I have a children's book line. I have the skincare. I'm on the TV show. I still manage artists and talent. I'm right now currently producing 3 shows. One of the shows just got picked up by Bravo. So there's a lot of things that have been on my vision board that I've wanted to do for years. But, I have to space it out. When I had babies and I needed to teach Amir what a blended family was, I was like, let me write a book about blended families. I'm going to give it to his school so that when he sits in his class and his teachers are like, well, I have a mommy and a daddy, then my daddy has another son, but that's not her. Like, me trying to explain that to my son was difficult when he was 2 and 3. I was like, let me put it in a book so my son doesn't feel like he's weird in school. So different businesses for me became my priority depending on where I was in my life, right? Like, now that I'm on TV and I'm in this space, I found it easier for me to get into these networks and pitch shows because I'm in this space right now. When I was doing management, it was easy for me to get into club promoting because I was talking to promoters for my clients all the time. So figure out where your priorities are, like where you are in your life, and what is one of the things you want to do.
Well, I recently just launched a art company called Arete. So we curate art experiences around the Afrobeat and lifestyle.
Okay, what you need to figure out is how in this business am I going to get visibility, because that's going to be important. And then I'm sure you want to eventually make money, right, which is a passion project. You want to make money, right? So then you need to connect with people. Passion and money, right? That's what creates purpose, right? So then you need to meet with people that are in that space and figure out, okay, so how did you get this network of people that come to your art shows and buy art? Then maybe you need to go to Afrochella. As an African, I'm going in Ghana. I'm very excited about that trip. I'll go December 26th. Very excited. But you might want to come to Curl Fest. You might want to come to these different, really explosive, Black people magic events and network and build. You want to make sure you're building that network so that it can help cultivate where you're going in business. But it all depends on where you are right now, which business you should focus on. But you can absolutely do all of them, just pace yourself. Because sometimes certain businesses take money to start, take money to run. Then you can use that other business to finance this business. That's what I did. So the skincare business has been financing me putting the pilot together for these shows I'm pitching. Now the shows that I'm pitching, one got picked up. Now that business, once we start getting checks from that, is going to finance something else that I want to do. So pace, don't try to do everything at the same time. Pace yourself and wait, work at it, even when it feels like it's not. I said I have to throw away my whole first line. And then it took me, altogether, 4 years to come out with Yell Skincare. But look at it. Year 1, I more than doubled what I wanted to make. And then year 2, so my first year, I wanted to make about 25,000. We cleared over 60,000 first year. And then within my second year, we are clearing over 400,000 this year. Right, exactly. I love that. So yeah, and again, that is financing my other dreams and my other businesses, And again, I did it while being a single mom, because this has come out when my husband wasn't here. So I did that while being a single mom. I did that while raising rambunctious little babies, and then I just recently adopted a teenager. I don't know if any of you got teenagers, but that's a different life. It is a different world. And this success happens again when you give, God gives you back. I have my baby girl in my house and all of this, and I've been stressed. But look at the blessings that God has blessed me with, because I became a blessing to somebody else. So, even though sometimes things, they seem dark or they might seem like this is hard, just be a blessing. Be kind, be a blessing, and then you'll be repaid. You will.
Thank you so much for being here. Let's give it up for our Fireside Chat with Yandy Smith Harris, our 2019 Media honoree. And what I really took away from our conversation today as we wrap up is that you are just so simplistic in your approach, but you have remained humble as you've achieved so many different levels of success, and you don't forget where you come from and your community, and that you just, your heart is big, and you keep it moving, and you do one thing at a time. So I just love how just simple it was. It's not this big old grand old thing. It's core values that you stay close to and that you keep those going throughout your life. And once you have a vision and a mission for something, you just work hard at it, and it continues to grow.
That's it.
So we are here, day 3 of the Women in Media Conference. Day 4 tomorrow. Thank you.
Awesome, girl. You doing your thing, girl.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
It really takes a village in the community, so thank you to all of the Women in Media team, our leadership council, our volunteers who've been here, DJ A-List.
Yes.
And it keeps going tomorrow, everybody. So we wrap up with a finale, day 4 at Hops Brewery Town. It's a restaurant. We're going to have a media brunch.
Oh, nice.
We have another Fireside Chat. We have performances. We have all-you-can-eat buffet. Y'all know we have bottomless mimosas. And the scene continues with the lifestyle scene. So make sure you come out tomorrow. It's on our website, womenandmediaglobal.org, and there's tickets still available on womglobal.eventbrite.com. And I would be remiss if I did not give homage and honor to my mother. She can stand up. My mom is always here in the front row. This is where it all comes from. So thank you, Mom. Mom for being here. Always support me. I love you. And I think we're good. We're going to take a picture.
Yes, of course.
So make sure you ladies tag me so I can repost so we can really blow this event up. I think this is great. I hope that there are more. We need to take this to New York.
Okay, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah,
Everything girls
That's what I'm
women in
saying.
media.
This is great. Yeah.
So New York is a whole nother market that I haven't even begun to network.
So we used to do like
undive.
panels and all stuff, but it was so much work. It was a lot of work. We would do like 3 days events. It was so much work getting everything together. And my team was like, okay, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. I'm telling you, I can't do nothing without my team. Nothing. I traveled here, but you know, you spoke to Trina, Toy, they don't play no games.
No, they were amazing too.
Good.
They were amazing.
I'm glad. So it's like we were being pulled so many different. I know the work that goes. I see everybody got their shirts on. My table was right. My food in my room was right. My picture looks nice. Everything. I know the work that goes into this. So kudos to you, Mom. You did a great job. You did a great job, Mom. I know the work. I know.
Thank you, everybody, for investing in yourselves today. This moment was about you. So if you're enjoying the fruits of our labor, of our team, our job here is done. Thank you.